Grid 3 has Dave Jessup, and on the outside, Larry Ross from New Zealand. Been vitally important. There's a great... has been the one which has really been the fastest one so far. The Kiwis already had one ride. They've got 3 points. Larry Ross had a machine failure in it, otherwise would have taken 5. So here we go. Heat 4, England versus New Zealand. So it's Collins from the inside and Jessup from grid 3. England 1-2 at the moment. Collins on the inside, Jessup on the outside of him. Nigel Major's back in third place. And now the England pair must try and team ride to keep the lively Kiwis out. And that's a fabulous picture of them. But it's slick and it's dusty and it's very close out there. Collins on the inside. And now the wily Ivan Major moves up. And he'll make sure they don't make any mistakes. Well, the England pairing are doing all we could ask for here. They're riding quite beautifully as a pair, and they've got the world individual champion on their tail. They just dare not make a mistake. Well, it's textbook stuff at the moment. Absolutely out of the manual. Collins covering the inside, Jessup on the outside, and it really is superb team riding from this England pair. What a start for them. They're going to collect 5 points here as Collins and Jessup hold out Major just about over the line. Well, a tremendous piece of action to start the campaign for the England riders. They just kept up. Ivan Major made sure they didn't go to sleep, but it's 5 points for England to start with. Zenon Plek, one of the two very well-known Poles, of course. The Poles relying on their old guard very much in world events. Zenon, world number 2. He's been in the top flank now for, 5-6 years with the Hackney Hawks, of course, in the British League. And Zenon here hoping to spike the chances of the England pair. Something really has got to give here, because both England and Poland, there's Edward Jansarz, the other Pole, of course. He's also London-based in the British League with Wimbledon. Ed's been around an awfully long time. He was in the placings in the World Championship way back in 1966, so he's something of a veteran now, but still very lively. Well, England and Poland both had 5 points from their first ride. Let's see where they line up. Yes, Peter Collins again is going into grid 1. Grid number 2 there has Zenon Plek. Grid 3, the usually lightning fast Dave Jessup away from the traps, and on the outside, Edward Jansarz. Taking their time to settle. 4 or 5 points from this race would take either of these nations into the lead, and it looks as though it is Edward Jansarz that's causing the hold up here, not happy with the start grid. We mentioned earlier the track, although it's a big one and a fast one and a beautifully prepared one, has tended to favour the fast starters, so gating has become all important. Here's heat 7, Collins, Plek, Jessup, Jansarz. That's the way they line up. And here they go. And again it is Collins and Jessup from the outside. Collins, Jessup rather, has gone on now. Peter Collins graded from the inside grid. And now Jessup has gone clear. And coming hard after him is Jansarz and Plek. But this is Peter Collins, and there you can see the way they're stretching out under our commentary position, absolutely going flat out. Collins leads it. Jessup rather leads it. Collins is second. In third place it is Plek. Well, dear, that was Zenon Plek making some very expensive noises right under our commentary box. Hasn't deterred the English Lions, and they really are looking good, aren't they? Well, England have a good record in this competition. They're bidding for their 4th win in 5 years. They were just picked last year. This is a new pair, Dave Jessup and Peter Collins, who normally don't like riding together too well, but they've got a tremendous understanding here today. Just look at this. So 5 more points to England, one only to Poland, and Zenenplek we lost midway through with some engine failures there, which sounded very expensive. But if you're an Englishman, you're not really counting, because England have taken another 5 points, and that takes them into the lead with a maximum 10 after 2 starts. Getting a bit tense there in the pits, because Heat 14 is the one that really should sort out this 1980 World Pairs Championship. It's Denmark versus England, the England pairing unbeaten thus far. There's Collins just practicing his starting, and starting is going to be so vital in this Heat 14. It's so difficult to come from the back here. It's a big racing track. They're averaging over 50 mile an hour here. It really is a fast one. But once they get in front, they're awfully difficult to catch. Once again, England play their tactical ploy at the start, letting Peter Collins, who marginally is the slower starter of the pairing, he's got into the inside, which is marginally the quicker starting grid over the day. Ole Olsen's in grid 2. Dave Jessup there, you'll just see in a moment, just off his machine, finding a bit of drive. Jessup, reckoned to be the fastest starter in the world, is in grid 3. Hans Nielsen is on the outside. Heat 14, tremendous tension down there on the line. Sure, all 4 of these riders know that this is the one that could settle the 1980 World Pairs Championship final. England, of course, lost the title to Denmark last year. Now, really and truly, they could snatch it back in this race. Heat 14. And it is England with Peter Collins, and he's slowed up and looked for Jessup, and those were perfect tactics for Team Speedway. Collins got away, and he shut down the line for Ole Olsen to allow Dave Jessup to come through from grid 3, and that really was perfection if you're an Englishman. Jessup leads it, Collins is second, and their understanding this afternoon has been little short of sensational. Jessup looking for Collins. There's Collins. Olsen still run up on their back wheels. They daren't afford a single slip. Jessup, Collins, Olsen. There they are in line of beam, and they're moving now into the last lap. Olsen must make his move now, but it's so difficult to find any extra drive, to find any extra power here, as Dave Jessup, high, wide, and rather handsome, takes the last 2 corners. He's going to win it. Collins is second place. Third place is Olsen. A marvellous 5 points for England, and surely that has got them one hand on this Pairs Championship title. We're moving into heat number 17, and this is the one that England can really wrap it up in, because they're in against the Finns, and if they take maximum points here, it'll put them clear of anybody. Poland are threatening. Poland are on 19 points, but England surely now will make this secure. On the inside, it's going to be Kai Niemi. Next to him, Peter Collins. Grid 3 will have Ilya Taroma, and on the outside, Dave Jessup. England have 20 points. Haven't got a point yet. They really have been in magnificent form here in Yugoslavia. And this surely will be the one that wraps it all up. But it is Niemi from the inside, although Jessup again has made one of his tremendous starts, and Collins goes through on the second corner. And now surely it is all over bar the shouting. Dave Jessup looks in a class of his own at the moment. We're almost around the corner with him, and Peter Collins is on his inside, and the Finns are nowhere in sight, and England's prestige at world level, which has taken a bit of a few knocks recently, is glowing again. The Finns are beginning to close up, and Jessup is slowing up, waiting for his partner. There's no argument about that. They've just got half a lap to go for the race that will clinch the World Pairs crown for England for the 4th time in 5 years. Over the line, first Jessup, second Collins, And, well, the Finns made their effort a bit late there because Taroma came bursting through after the checkered flag. Nobody really cares. England in Dave Jessup and Peter Collins there clinch hands and have clinched the title. Heat 18, Denmark versus New Zealand. A confrontation between perhaps the most famous master and pupil in World Speedway. Ole Olsen, the pupil, Ivan Major, the master. And they're going to be together on the inside. Olsen's in grid 1, Major in grid 2, Hans Nielsen grid 3. On the outside, Larry Ross. Denmark, who surely have now seen their crown slip away. Bidding now for respectability, a place in the first three. They have 14 points, so too have New Zealand, although New Zealand have had an extra start. So here we go for Heat 18. Oh, got very tight in there around that first corner, and it was Ross who really caused the trouble, although Olsen leads it. And Ivan Major needed all his skill to avoid a rather nasty little pile-up there. Olsen leads it. Second place is Ross. And third is Hans Nielsen. They bunch up going into the corners and then seem to stretch out down the straights. Now Larry Ross has got the bit between his teeth a bit here and he's pushing hard on Ole Olsen. And now Nielsen has moved up, and Olsen is slowing this one down to try and find a gap for Nielsen, his partner. No argument about that. And he's almost pulled it off here as well. Over the line, it is Olsen. Second place, Ross. Third place was Nielsen. And some hairy old action there in heat number 18, but 4 points to Denmark and 2 for New Zealand. And those 4 points might be crucial to Denmark when the final reckoning comes. Heat number 19, and England really looking for a notable achievement because they can do the clean sweep here. They've got maximum points for each of their previous 5 outings. Now they're in against the Swedes. And, well, they were the anti-post favourites, perhaps slightly, to win this title. But few could have expected them to do quite so well. They've ridden absolutely magnificently as a pair. And now they could go in the record books as being the world champions without dropping a point. On the inside, Jan Andersen. Next to him, Peter Collins. Grid 3 has Richard Halson, and on the outside, Dave Jessup. The Swedes are by no means out of contention for a place in the frame. They have 16 points. But let's see, their tactics up to and around the first corner, the English pairing have been exemplary, really have been magnificent. Let's watch here in Heat 19. Collins again blocked the passage of Andersen there, and that wasn't far off being the pick. And Collins is in trouble in second place, and Andersen's got under him. Jessup's away, but Peter Collins back in third place after a hair-raising first lap. So it's Jessup leading. Second place is Andersen. Third place, holding out some challenges from Richard Halson, is Peter Collins. But it looks like in this very last race, England might drop a point. Jessup still leading. Andersen's in second place. Third place it's Collins, and Jessup here establishing and re-establishing himself as the man who might bring the world individual crown. We reckon he was the informed rider, and he's going away here in Heat 19. A win for Jessup. Second place was Andersen, and that spoils a 100% record for England. Andersen, the man it was from Sweden, who just stood him up in that last race. Only academic. Would have been nice to have gone through the card, but it's still an emphatic win for the English Lions. Just look at the start here. And just watch Peter Collins, just moves across there on Anderson and makes sure there's nowhere for him to go around the first corner. And again, there's a big wide gap. We'll see it again from a different angle. There goes Jessup. There goes Helson inside him. Jessup's already turning for the corner here from the outside. And just watch Collins here. He shuts right down on Anderson. They almost come right through the picture at you. Jessup gets away. But unfortunately, Peter Collins, for all his hard tactics up to the first corner, couldn't hold on. But who's counting? England have won the World Pairs Crowd.
Yes, indeed. What a great win it was, wasn't it? England, 29 points. Poland, second on 22.